Hey there, happy Monday to all of my detail-oriented pharmacists, which I feel like describes the vast majority of us. You are going to really enjoy today's episode because we are diving into the details. Um, I recorded a video answering a lot of the frequently asked questions about the Health Professionals to Health Writers program several months ago. And I believe I recorded that right as the second cohort of students was getting ready to start the program, which would have been in March or April. And so I wanted to revisit that because some things have changed in regards to the way that the Health Professionals to Health Writers program is structured, particularly for this upcoming cohort, the case study cohort that starts in January. So this video is really going to be dedicated to diving into the 5 simple, not easy, but simple steps that you really should follow if you are a pharmacist who wants to replace a portion of your pharmacist salary through freelance health content writing. And these 5 steps also happen to represent the core framework that Health Professionals to Health Writers is designed around. So while talking about these 5 steps, I'm also going to be able to dive into the details of how the upcoming cohort of Health Professionals to Health Writers is going to be set up. And it's largely similar to the way that the first two cohorts were run, but there are some small differences. So that's why I'm redoing this video, kind of answering some of those frequently asked questions over again with the new setup in mind. So to run it back a little bit for those who might not be familiar, my name is Megan Freeland. I am a public health pharmacist turned health content strategist. I run a freelance health content marketing company called Stock Rose Creative, and also created the Health Professionals to Health Writers coaching program to help fellow pharmacists and healthcare providers learn how to replace a portion of their provider or pharmacist salary through freelance health content writing. So basically helping you learn how to do what I did through building my health content marketing business. Great to meet you. If we have not met before, whether you're watching this live or on the replay, you can always feel free to leave comments, leave questions down here in the comments, or you can shoot me messages privately. That is totally fine as well. So we can go ahead and dive into the little Q&A. And if you have other questions about the program that I don't cover here, feel free to drop them below. I'm giving you the high level, like the questions that most people are asking. Some questions that get more into the weeds, those are questions that you'll see answers to if you're actually going through the application process. So depending on the exact question that you have, I might be able to answer it in the moment, or I might let you know that that's something that's covered more extensively during the application process. So just an FYI. But for now, we can go ahead and talk about what really is Health Professionals to Health Writers. What is this coaching program? How's it set up? What does it do? What is the intention? So big picture, Health Professionals to Health Writers is a coaching program that teaches pharmacists how to replace a portion of their pharmacist salary through freelance health content writing. That is the easiest way to say it, but there are a few very important parts of that very brief sentence that I just said. So the first thing is pharmacists. The program is really open to any type of clinician, any type of healthcare provider. So that includes pharmacists, that also includes nurses, physicians, PAs, physical therapists. However, for the upcoming cohort, for the January 2022 cohort of the program, enrollment is limited to pharmacists only. So it is not open to other clinicians. This cohort is specifically for pharmacists. So that's one important thing to remember. The second really important part to hone in on when it comes to getting a sense of what this coaching program is, that is really designed for pharmacists who are interested in pursuing freelance health content writing specifically. And I have to emphasize that because I know that a lot of folks, as you're learning more about medical and health writing, which is wonderful, that's why I talk about it so much, because I want you to learn more about it. As you learn more about it, you will start to learn that there are many, many different types of medical and health writing. So when someone comes to me and says, Megan, I love what you're doing. Can tell me how I can get into medical writing? What's my first question going to be? If we've had this conversation, you already know the question. Do you know what type of medical or health writing you're interested in? Is it regulatory? Is it CE? Is it medical communications? Is it I don't know if I said regulatory. All of these are all different types of medical and health writing, and the way that you get into them is very different. So that is an upfront question that you need to be able to answer. In this program, you do not learn other types of medical or health writing. You do not learn medical communications. You do not learn publications. You do not learn CE writing. You learn health content writing, and you learn how to do it in a freelance fashion. So that is really important to understand about the program, that if you have an interest in other types of medical writing, or not necessarily if you have an interest in it, because it's okay to be interested in other things, but if your intention is to learn how to create a freelancing operation in some other type of medical or health writing, or if you are trying to, get a full-time medical writing job, this is not the program for you. This program is dedicated to pharmacists who want to learn how to replace a portion of their pharmacist salary through freelance health content writing. So hopefully that clears up any questions about what exactly this coaching program is. So let's move on to the eligibility criteria. Who's the program for? Who is it not for? One of the core eligibility criteria, actually two of the criteria we already discussed. So one, you have to have a genuine interest in freelance health content writing and really be wanting to hone in on that as a method of replacing a portion of your income, of building an additional or supplemental income stream. That needs to be the route that you're trying to take, because joining the coaching program is a commitment of time. And so you want to make sure that you're not wasting time doing something that you're not really genuinely interested in. So that is one of the key eligibility criteria. And that question is asked during the application process. Why are you interested specifically in health content writing rather than other types of medical writing? If you can't answer that question, that is a signal that you might not be quite ready for this program, because you really need to understand that this is specifically about freelance health content writing. And so you need to know why that particular type of health writing is the type of health writing that you want to focus on. So that is one of the core eligibility criteria. Going back to the pharmacist piece, at this time, only US-based pharmacists are eligible for the program. First, let's talk about US-based. The reason for this is because, to be quite honest, that is the only market that I am familiar with, is the US market for health content writing. I'm not familiar with the landscape in other geographic locations, and I am committed to making sure that the students who are enrolled in the program are really able to get the result that the program is designed to help them achieve. So I'm not going to accept people into the program who I don't feel that I could properly help. And at this point, I don't feel that I could properly guide someone who is in other non-US markets. So it's currently limited to US-based pharmacists. Students, residents, fellows are not eligible for the program, and that's primarily because of the time commitment of the program. I want to make sure that the students who are enrolled really have the time and the freedom in their schedules, the space in their schedules to be able to dive in, because in a lot of cases, in almost 100% of cases, people who are enrolling into this program have little to no health content writing experience. And so the learning curve is not impossible to overcome, but it is steep. And so it's going to take time and energy to catch up, or to get to the level where you want to be in order to go out and actually get and secure clients. So that is the reason why students, residents, fellows are not eligible for the Health Professionals to Health Writers program. But what I always say is, if you continue to be interested once your academic program has ended, once your residency or fellowship has ended, come back and we can talk and we can see what's what there. So I think those are the two primary eligibility criteria to consider. As far as who's not eligible, we talked about students, residents, fellows. We talked about folks who are wanting to pursue other types of medical or health writing. Also, I've talked to a couple of people who are wanting to learn health content writing to benefit their own business. That would make the program not a good fit if that is your intention, because the intention is for you to apply these skills as a freelancer. So that means going to established health companies and offering your services as a health content writer and building your contracts that way. The program is not designed to support you in building your own platform or creating health content for your own business, because the return is not there, right? That's just not the way that the program is designed. Shelly asked a great question, which is, what is the time commitment that's needed? How many hours per day? So the time commitment that I usually talk to students about is being able to commit 2 to 5 hours per week for the duration of the program, to dedicate to moving through the coursework. So that time includes the coaching sessions that we have, which are live. And if for some reason students aren't able to make the coaching sessions, they are recorded so that they can go back and watch them. That includes the coaching sessions. That also includes the homework assignments that you have throughout each phase of the program. And we'll talk about each phase of the program momentarily, but that 2 to 5 hour range is typically what I require for students to be able to dedicate if they decide to join the program. And the reason the range is a little wider is because there are some phases that will require more time than others. So for example, during the time when you're actually working on your portfolio, you are working, you are researching, you're outlining, you're writing, we're revising. There's a lot more time required in that particular portion of the program than in others. So that's why that range is there. That gives you kind of a sense of how much time is expected. That was a great question, Shelly. Okay, so I think those are most of the eligibility criteria. In terms of what the program includes, I think it's helpful to first paint a picture of overall what the program is designed to help students achieve. So the goal is for students who complete the program to leave with three things. First, they are leaving with a strong foundational understanding of what content marketing and specifically health content marketing really is. It's normal that even if you watch a lot of my videos and watch a lot of my content, it's normal to still be like, I really do kind of understand what you're talking about, but you don't 100% understand it until you kind of dive in and start doing it. So that is the goal for students who come into the program, to really be confident in their understanding of what health content marketing is. That's number one. Number two is to walk away from the program with a portfolio. As you know, if you're someone who has been interested in health content writing but has struggled to kind of enter the space, not having experience or not having a lot of experience is 100% a barrier, because anytime you're talking to a potential client, one of the first questions they're going to ask you is, where your samples at? Can I see some samples? Can I see your writing? Can I see your work? And if you have nothing to show them, that's pretty much the end of the conversation. Like it's pretty much not going anywhere from there. So the second really big goal of the program is to make sure that students are walking out with a strong portfolio. And then the third goal of the program is to make sure that you are able to secure your first paying client, or at least get that offer, even if you don't decide to take that offer, to at least get that offer before the end of the program, but ideally to secure your first paying client by the end of the program. And Shelly, I see your question. Remind us how long the program is. The upcoming case study cohort that starts in January is going to be a 4-month program. So those are the three core objectives of health professionals to health writers. So, in terms of what the program includes, the program is designed um, and modeled in order to help achieve those three goals. So, the core structure of the program, really, I wanted to model it after a lot of the academic health professions or pharmacy, basically pharmacy school for pharmacists, programs that we have gone through. So a lot of times there are three core anchors to those programs. There's the didactic piece, there's the experiential piece, and there's the mentorship. And so I also use that triangular model to design this program. The didactic learning comes in the form of our workbooks, any videos, our coaching sessions where we're actually sitting down and learning the information that you need in order to build a strong foundation in health content writing. The experiential portion comes into play when you're putting pen to paper. You're not writing on paper, but typing on your keyboard, but the proverbial pen to paper, and you're actually creating your portfolio. That's the experiential portion. And then the mentorship comes in the form of coaching, which one of the reasons why I try to emphasize that health professionals to health writers is a coaching program and not a self-paced course is because you are receiving live continuous coaching for the 4-month duration of the program. So we are meeting regularly, virtually live, and you are actually receiving mentorship and guidance throughout the duration of the program. So it's not a self-paced course that you just download and you watch it, or you might not watch it and you might never finish it. Like, you're going to finish the program because we're going to be seeing each other all the time for the duration of the program. So that's kind of how that core structure is modeled. And the framework within that program lasts throughout that 4 months. So this is a great time to explain, like, what are the exact steps that students go through the program. So again, the program lasts for 4 months. And the first 3 months of the program are when you are going to go through the 5 core phases. So phase 1 is about learning. It's called Learn. This is where you are getting a deep dive crash course in all things content writing, content marketing, digital marketing, because all of those things are interconnected. So when you become a freelance health content writer, you're not just like writing health information that you think is helpful. There is a structure. It's called content marketing for a reason. It's because it's a type of marketing. And so, we understand as pharmacists, we naturally understand the health, the education, the information aspect of it, but you have to learn the marketing aspect of it as well in order to be an effective and a successful freelance health content writer. So the first phase of the program is designed to make sure that you have that strong foundation. That's phase 1, Learn. Phase 2, and the second step that you want to take if you're trying to become a freelance health content writer, is niche. And this is when you are choosing the specialty area that you want to really be known for as a health writer. When I talk to potential students or interested students, this is one of the areas where we sometimes have our first little bout of tug of war, because some of them are like, well, do I really have to choose a niche? Because I have a lot of different interests. I have a very varied background, and I don't know if I want to pigeonhole myself or this or that. And if you haven't watched the video that I just recorded about why it is critical for you to choose a niche, I will try to remember to leave that in the comments. But if I forget for some reason, it's on the Health Writing for Health Professionals YouTube channel. You can just go to the recent videos and find it there. But every student who comes through the program is required to choose a niche. And once that niche is chosen, then we move on to phase 3, which is your portfolio. And in the portfolio phase, you're actually writing blog posts that are going to serve as your samples, so that when you go to a potential prospect and they ask to see your work, you have something to show them. That particular phase comes after phase 2, niche, because you're building the portfolio to support the niche that you have chosen in phase 2. So to recap, phase 1, you're learning. Phase 2, you're choosing your niche. Phase 3, you're building your portfolio. That's the third step, to create your samples. Step 4, phase 4, is the package phase. And this is where you are learning how to price your services so that you know how much to charge for your writing, and so that you are making sure that you are charging in a way that is actually going to help you replace a portion of your income, and not that is going to have you writing for hours and hours and hours for pennies on the dollar. So that is what we focus on in the package phase, pricing your offer and packaging them. And then in phase five is the pitch phase. So this is when the students are learning the I'm Rich pitch process, which is a systematized way to evaluate and assess potential clients, and to understand how to efficiently pitch your services to those clients. And then all the things that come after that, right? So let's say someone is interested. What do you actually do between that time when they say they're interested and the time when you actually start writing for them? Like, what goes on in that process? And what are all of the business systems that you need in place in order to support the freelancing business that you've just created? So in addition to the support in terms of like learning the art of health content writing, you're also learning what you need from a business perspective in order to become a successful freelancer, because it's not just, shoot an email and then write the thing and that's it. How are you scheduling appointments? How are you going to get paid? How are you invoicing? How are you keeping track of your accounting? All of these questions from a business side of things that you might not think about until you actually get to the point where you need the things. And then you're like, oh, what do I do? All that support is provided there. So those 5 phases really reflect the 5 core steps that you need to take if you are interested in replacing a portion of your pharmacist salary through freelance health content writing. And those are the 5 phases that students go through as a part of the Health Professionals to Health Writers program. Now, if you recall, I said those 5 phases happen during the first 3 months of the program. However, the program lasts for 4 months. And so what's happening during that last month is that you are implementing all the way through the program. We are learning and implementing at the same time. But that last month is really dedicated to giving you all some focused time to just focus on implementing. And of course, learning just like, we have CE in pharmacy and we're constantly learning new things. Learning is a continuous process in the world of freelance health content writing as well. So you're going to still be learning things, but in terms of actual delivery of the education within the Health Professionals to Health Writers program, the core of that, the brunt of that happens in the first 3 months. And then in that last month, we can really focus on putting the gas, I forgot the saying, putting the gas to the pedal to the gas, pedal to the metal. Y'all know what I'm trying to say. Really diving in there and making sure that you're acting and going out and seeking that prospect base so that you can secure your first client. So that is how the program is designed. Checking for comments. All right, no questions. So it feels like this is pretty straightforward thus far. Okay, so then the other question that folks have been asking, how can I apply for Health Professionals to Health Writers, specifically for the January case study cohort? The core cohort for January is full. There are currently 6 students who are enrolled in that cohort. However, given interest, I have considered the possibility of opening a smaller cohort of no more than 3 students. So if you are interested in joining the Health Professionals to Health Writers program in January 2022, then what you do to start the application process is you simply leave a comment on this video that says write, WRITE, or you can shoot me a DM to say that you're interested in the program, or just, send a DM that says write, and I'll know what that means. And At that point, we'll kind of have the dialogue that I've been referencing before about determining whether you might be a good fit or the program might be a good fit for you. And then proceeding with the application process from there if we do determine that it could be a good fit. There is only space for a few more applications because if I do take this secondary cohort, it's only going to be for 3 students. And applications are going to close in about 5 days. I think that is 5 days, basically November 13th. So that is this Saturday. Saturday will be the last day to submit applications for the January cohort. So if you are considering reaching out, make sure to do that as soon as possible because there will not be additional spaces once that deadline has passed. Applications close on November 13th. If you're watching this video if you're watching this recording after that happens, you'll just want to check my LinkedIn account to see when the next cohort is going to be enrolling. In this particular cohort, a lot of you may have seen when I opened up enrollment back in September, and I'm calling it a case study cohort intentionally because this group of people, I'm really looking for pharmacists who are committed to making the time to dive into the curriculum deeply, who are willing to act on what they are learning through the program and to implement and to share their results, because I really want to be able to have a measurable depiction of, what things are like at point A and what things are like at point Z. How are we reaching our goals? What can be improved or tweaked? What additional support do I need to provide? And the only way to know these things is if I am getting the data from the students who are enrolled in the program. So another eligibility criteria for this particular cohort is that you have to be willing to really act, to implement, to make the time, and also to share the results in a timely fashion so that I can use that information to improve the program continuously in the future. So again, if you are interested in applying, just comment right on this video or shoot me a message that says right, and I will see if we can get the application process started for you. Applications close on November 13th. And if you have any additional questions about the program, I can definitely talk you through those, or they will be covered during the application process. So it was great to chat with you about health professionals to health writers. It has been a pleasure to work with all of the students who have come through the program thus far. I had the opportunity to do a little Q&A with one of my former students who was in the very first cohort of health professionals to health writers in January 2021. And she came on to talk about how things have been going for her thus far and also her experience in the program. Her name is Tanisha. So if you haven't watched her Q&A yet, I would definitely recommend checking that out. Again, you can find that on the Health Writers to Health Professionals YouTube channel. And I will talk to you soon. Have a great evening.